There's more arm wrestlers that are good guys than the few that you can name that are
Do you still think I'd be missed? I mean, I think you're exaggerating a lot of it. What is it? How I've been out for 2 or what? 3?
You're going on 2.
I've been out for 2, so 2007. I was in the sport a little over 6 years.
Okay. So name me, if I were to ask a group of people, name me one athlete who's in the sport less than 6 years, had wins over John Brzenk, Ron Bath, Cleve Dean, David Randall, and Marcio Barbosa. One, would people realize that you accomplished that in that time? And one, would they even know that, yes, you did do that? I can't think of many people in that short of a career who has that kind of a pedigree for what they accomplished. It's pretty impressive. Now, you'd mentioned in the kitchen, the reason I'm bringing it up.
And Kevin Bongard.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got wins over all those guys, all right? And the John Brzenk win was definitely the high point thing, but I gotta say that was probably a fluke. John was wounded. John was pulling multiple weight classes. It wasn't John. You know, that blah 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 blah. All right. I mean, I'm not saying I was even John's level ever. All right. But in order to pull him in the finals, I had to beat everybody else in Vegas. I mean, Solaris is in that class. You know, I mean, there was good people in that class. So to get there, in order just to, I mean, even if John was shot walking up to the stage, I had to be there. There was a lot of people that weren't there, you know, in the finals. Yeah. To get a win over Ron Bath was that I actually dedicated, because I'd lost the AAA Nationals in Columbia to Ron Bath years before. And that was the one goal I was training for. And this is how cool arm wrestlers really are. Because I told Ron, I said, man, all I want to do is beat you. Right? And Ron would come to our practices and practice with us. And I said, man, you know, and he would help me out. He would give you advice. He would, that was cool. All right. So when I beat Ron in an actual match, didn't mean I was better than Ron. All right. But I won that day. But in order to pull him, I mean, I had to be there. And I pulled Ron a lot. I mean, I think my record against Ron might be like 1-40. All right, but it was the one was all I wanted. All right, I mean, I just wanted just to tell 7, you know. So,
but you know it's Savon, right?
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Ever since he put Bongard on the website instead of me, he's 7 forever. You know, look, if I can name somebody I've never ever met wobbly and have it stick for 4 or 5 months, I can name somebody 7 and make it stick longer. You know, in a hook or something like that. Well, the problem with tall people is they run out of table space because a table's actually too small for a tall person. It's too wide for a short person. You'd almost think some enterprising entrepreneur videographer type starting his own league that lasts 3 times longer than NEL might almost come up with, hey, you know what, maybe different weight classes ought to have different tables. You know? So a short guy against a tall guy on a table, you can use it to your advantage, because I can carl up on a table and I can get all up nice and tight on it, but a really tall person runs out of table space. I think you saw it in the Cataract Travis match. You got these 2 giants, right? And they're trying to come back, right? And they run out of elbow pad on the way back. And I think that led to that gay-ass rule that if somebody's elbow goes off the back of the pad, it's the other guy's fault. That still bothers me, by the way. And I can't remember who invented it. I hope it wasn't you. No. Because if it was, I'm not going to be worried about getting 2 of us back to the dock.
So you just have to be at the tournament. You have to put yourself in that.
You got to be in the finals because those guys are in the finals. Yeah. If you beat them before the finals, well, then that's even cooler.
So your life is kind of in transition at this point. So,
my life,
job-wise.
Everybody's life's always in transition. But yeah, my job's ending. But it's, I mean, look, I've switched jobs every 4 or 5 years.
You've been here at this lake for
2001.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a lard ass on a little ass.
I feel like we got a good interview. ArmTV Nation. Is there any final words you'd like to say to the people out there, the fans, or maybe more non-fans?
To the new people, to the young people, okay? Here's the deal, right? You have to, okay, this is what always happens. Everybody, the conventional wisdom back in the day, before you took over and changed everything and made it smarter, and I'm going to ask you, but back in the day, it used to be, to get good in the sport, you had to go find a good guy, right, and take his advice, all right? To modify that a little, find a champion, take their advice, don't take their workout, right? If you train like your current champion trains, there's no reason to believe you're going to get hit as good as him in a shorter time as him, right? So if I gave you my workout routine that I did for 3 years, it would take you 3 years to catch up to where I am now, because I've been doing my routine for 3 years. Shamelessly copy what works from other sports. Near as I can tell, powerlifting is the closest sport to arm wrestling that actually has actual science and engineering principles applied to it. Their sponsorships are higher, the stakes are higher. Find champion powerlifters, right? Talk to those guys, are pretty nice too, and they all pretty much look like me, except they look like pro bass fishermen. They're all round right here but they're pure strength, they're pure explosive strength. All right, just go talk, shamelessly copy, but don't, like, if you call me up and ask me how to train for arm wrestling, I'll tell you what I did. But if you did what I did, then you're not going to be better than me. You're going to be behind me by however long it took you to ask. You know what I'm saying? And you got to invent stuff, and you got to change things. And then, you know, I mean, you want to tell people to have fun and not get all wrapped up in it. But I'm not going to tell people that, because if you're having fun and you're not all wrapped up in it, you're not as good as you could be. So you kind of pretty much need to be single-mindedly purpose-focused. Pull out of your weight class. Go, hey, look, if Ron Bath is at a tournament, right, and you weigh 170 pounds, get into the super heavyweights or the heavy, or wherever Ron is, and pull Ron, all right? If John Brzezink's at a tournament, don't pick a different weight class, pick his weight class, all right? Get in Brent Rocker's weight class. I don't care what you weigh, unless you're over, obviously, all right? Just figure out, tell yourself that where you're going to be is going to be an investment, and what you're investing is losses, right? And 20, well, that might be a little more. 2,000 losses is a small investment to win one big tournament on TV or at the ROTN or on video. All right, you win one big tournament. You win one big tournament, and it's documented, and you beat the elite guy, you beat the Harlequin guy. All right, you forget the 40 times he beat you before, and you forget the 3,000 losses leading up to it.
It's sort of like when you're reading sales books and they're talking about the door-to-door concept. It might take 1,000 no's, get out of my face, before you get the big sale. If you give up on 999 no's, you'll miss out on the big sale.
Sales is a volume business. Arm wrestling, as far as an education, getting strong is documented. You don't need any advice on how to get strong, all right? People know how to get strong. The different opinions on how to get strong is how fast you get strong. Chances are you're going to choose wrong anyways. Getting strong is important. But getting smart and educated it's a volume business. You just have to arm wrestle more people, and you got to be freaking smart about it. So take notes. Take notes what you're going to do. Take notes what happened. But you got to pull those people, and and you can look. That Georgia man said, man, if you work hard, you can do great things. That is etched somewhere in my shop that you won't see. But I mean, ever since he said that.
Which Georgia man?
Ron Bath.
You got that from Ron Bath? He said that?
Ron Bath told me that after he beat me. It was on an ARMTV tape. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Not Charlotte. We're in Albemarle. We're at Rick Layton's tournament. I'd beat Bucky Russell. And it was tough, and I had to go up against Ron, and you had asked Ron something about our upcoming match, and Ron just said, look, you work hard, you'll do great things. And, you know, and everybody wants to do great things. It's just hard.